Well, it's literally the worst week in the entire season, in my opinion. It's the international break after 3 weeks. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal, the mightiest club in all of England. Up here on the top row with me, if you're watching the video, is Brad. He supports Chelsea Football Club. Just some weird people who like lions. And down below us, if you're watching the video, is Sean. He supports the chicken lovers of North London, Tottenham Hotspurs. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight? What's going on? What's up?
This is the mightiest club in England.
It's true.
I don't even think you're the mightiest club in North London. Did this international break make you forget what year it is?
It's a cannon, bro.
Hold on. Do you want to do the pull through real quickly so we can see the table, just in case our listeners forgot?
No. Well, we might look at this international break. Nothing's changed from last week. If you're interested in seeing what the state of the Premier League table is, check out Red Card Radio from last week. It's match day 3. It's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all those things. Speaking of which, if you're gonna go check it out, you might as well subscribe. You might as well follow. You might as well ring the notification bell. Share it with a friend. Rate it 5 stars. Maybe get a phone call in the middle or something. I don't know. Really high quality professional production we've got going on here for all of the listeners. And if you don't do those things, Sean, what might befall someone who doesn't like, comment, and subscribe?
Then you're going to be hosting a podcast and have your phone ring.
Hold on. Full disclosure, that was not my phone. That was not my phone.
It was not my phone either. That was not my phone either.
It was terribly inconvenient. Luckily, I'm pretty quick on the reaction time, but yeah, that happened.
Oh, wow. Well, good. All right. Appreciate that if everyone could do that for us. So, like I alluded to in the beginning, we are in the middle of the international break. I hate this international break. This is my least favorite international break in the entire competitive calendar.
It's like, yay, the season started, but then wait 2 weeks after the third game.
Exactly. And I understand why it's paced this way, because after your summer tournaments or whatever, after a team players get back to their clubs, you have a month of preseason, and then you have 3 weeks of games. So there hasn't been an international break for 8 weeks almost, but still, it's just come on, we need to get rid of this one. If there's one that world football needs to agree to get rid of, FIFA, take this one off the calendar. It's not good. I don't like it, and you should listen to me.
Could they do a 3-week one like the next one and just squeeze the games in?
No, let's not give FIFA any ideas, because if that one can be 3 weeks, then all of them can be 3 weeks, and then I'll need the Super League to come back at that point.
Start changing some things around here.
It would give James a 3-week break from being at the bottom of the table.
Never a break from that, Brad, but that's going to change coming up. But anyway, I'm going to give the people a quick rundown what we're going to talk about today. We're going to start, it's going to be a little bit different from our normal flow, just because we're not going to look at the Premier League table tonight, or at least not early on. We might touch on it later in the episode, just to give everybody a reminder. But we're going to talk about comments from last week. Have actually some lengthy comments that I will do my best to synthesize into smaller points. We're going to talk about the transfer window, because the transfer window is officially closed at this point, bar maybe Turkey and Russia or something like that. Generally speaking, the transfer window is closed. So all of the major moves are basically done for at this point. Some clubs might have some departures and things like that. But so we're going to talk about that, kind of wrap it up with a bow. And then we're going to look forward to this weekend, match day 4, what's going on in the Premier League, who's playing whom, and what we think could go down. And so that's kind of what we got going for you guys this week. So like I said, we're going to start with the comments from last week, and I'm going to pull these up. So as normal, Sean, you said one of your you saw you had a comment on one of our our podcast or one of the audio versions, someone was joking about something.
Yeah, it was. She just shout out to our friend of the pod, Kelly. She just wanted to mention that it was kind of ironic that she's been having dishwasher issues, and then the first pod she listened to talked about dishwasher issues, and then my threat last week resulted in her not taking any chances and just giving 5 stars.
There we go.
Said I got enough problems. I don't need any bad luck.
Kelly, I hope your dishwasher is not acting up. That's the goal. Some other comments we got on YouTube. Will was wondering if we were going to talk about the USA qualifiers. We could touch on those if we want to in a minute. Brad, he wants to remind you that you need to open up Alvaro Morata's Wikipedia page and take a look at his club honors to see and look at a portion when he played for a club in Spain. That's where he's linking you to.
Oh, okay.
Because you were saying that Werner is a step above Morata. He lifted a Champions League trophy. Well, your argument was that Werner is better than Morata because he's lifted a Champions League trophy. So he just wants you to look at that. He doesn't need a comment right now. Just take a look, get back to him, see what's going on there. And then he did have kind of a lengthy comment about Juve, because we talked about Juve last week, just generally talking about their...
To save you some time, Brad, the team name starts with R and ends with Real Madrid. If you want to look that up.
Yeah, wow.
That was funny. So we
save you a little time.
Because we were talking about Juve because, of course, the Ronaldo transfer from Juventus to Manchester United. And we kind of went off on that about Juve's struggles last year and things like that. And Will agreed with us that Pirlo wasn't really ready for it. And my point, he kind of agreed with my points that the midfield had been depleted and that the forwards were lacking as well. He has some comments about Ronaldo, about how he still thinks that he is still a massive important player, but that he has lost a step a little bit. But especially with like speed and dribbling past players and things like that. He makes a joke about,
which is a big part of his game too.
Yeah, for sure.
Like his pace and technical skills is a large part of his game.
And that Will doesn't remember Ronaldo scoring a goal from outside of the box since 2019. And parenthetically, he mentions he doesn't want to get started about free kicks, because I joked that he misses all of his free kicks. And I think that for Juve, after Pjanic left, he was taking all the free kicks. And I think even when Pjanic was still on the team, they were trading certain free kicks. But yeah, he's interested to see what Allegri's going to do with the front talent, and he's optimistic. And since he said all of that, the thing he really wants to bring up is about how Juve is going to embarrass Chelsea in the Champions League, and that Chelsea's savior Lukaku, and this is a direct quote: Chelsea's savior Lukaku has never scored from open play against Juve or Italy, one pen against each, and McKennie is ready to snatch Pulisic's Captain America shield.
I can't wait for this meeting.
So,
John,
this should be good. This should be good. I'm excited for this.
Sean, you got room on that train? We're about to be on that Italian hate train. Let's go. Yeah. Make some room. I'm coming over.
It's to be fair to the listeners who listen pretty much every week. It's really it's really just directed at one man.
It's the man.
All of this stems from Chiellini.
And you know who's going to eat Lukaku alive in those Champions League games? Yeah. Giorgio Chiellini. He's gonna devour.
And then Werner's gonna run right behind them and score when he plays more than 11 minutes in a Champions League final and counts as a trophy winning. Played 11 minutes in that game. Get out of here with that comment.
I'm just saying. All right.
I'm just saying.
Jimmy also had some very lengthy comments. First, he wants to remind you, Brad, that you were 100% wrong about Emile Smith-Rowe, and that Emile Smith-Rowe did not shoot the ball on goal, that he deflected Ederson's pass. Again, Jimmy is 100% right there, as am I. Both the Jameses are 100% right. he kind of agreed with me about the Arsenal result, about how he didn't like Atkinson as a referee, and that he doesn't really think that the red card was even merited. He thinks it shouldn't have been a foul. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but whatever. And then he had some comments for you, Brad, about the Chelsea match. And this is his take on the game. Generally speaking, he thinks Anthony Taylor is a pretty decent referee.
He's wrong.
He thinks that the stats you gave out are pretty interesting, though. His first point, the penalty call was 100% correct.
Yes.
The red card, that it's very tough. Letter of the law says if hand is used to prevent a goal, automatic red. However, you could argue that the hand did not prevent the goal, but granted control. He takes huge issue to the fact that Anthony Taylor only saw the still. That's completely not how VAR is supposed to function, and he agrees with Brad and all Chelsea supporters on their beef with the VAR implementation. And he kind of agrees that I did a good job, I guess is what he says, of synthesizing his feelings on the game, about how he thought that Liverpool would have been in a better position to win the game had it been 11-on-11 and things like that. So I don't know if you want to respond to any of those comments, Brad. A lot of it was coming at you this week, Brad. The people were not happy with you after last week. Normally Sean is the one that's getting the beef, but everyone was coming at you, Brad. So if you want to respond to the people, here is your moment. I will give you the floor.
Listen, okay. Emile Smith-Rowe, make that argument. I still think he should have put that ball in the net. A deflection, whatever. That ball should have gone in the back of the net. Secondly,
How old is ESR? What is he, 20, 19?
20, I think.
You want a 20-year-old midfielder to be Zlatan Ibrahimovic? Because that's about the only person I've seen within recent memory. Because Zlatan did it off a kick, right? Off a goal kick, header in a World Cup or a qualifier or a Euro. Other than that, a lot of passes like straight, just barely get your foot in. You're not deflecting it in the goal. You're just getting your body in front of it. Yeah. And even still, I don't think Zlatan meant to do that. I think he was just trying to get his head to it.
Okay.
So,
okay.
All right.
Yes, you should expect that. I don't see why you miss
all right.
I don't see why you miss an open goal and not comment about missing the open goal. All right. If that's Werner, how much hate is there online if that's Werner that misses that?
If it's Werner and there was no goalkeeper, he's still missing it.
That's true.
That's not the point of this conversation. The point
that's not the best one you should have picked from your team.
Brad, I think that's
the only one.
That's a flawed argument to make. Like would someone else get flack for missing that? Because I don't think Werner gets. I mean, I think Werner gets properly roasted, like for as bad as he is.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
he gets roasted. The roasting he gets is well deserved. I don't think people would flame Werner if he did the same thing Emile Smith-Rowe did and missed in the same exact way. I don't think Werner would get flamed for that. He might get memed because of it, because of like his track record of being a garbage player, but. I don't think he gets flamed for that in the way that you wanted to flame Smith-Rowe for it.
Secondly, I agree with most of Jamie's comments on his take on the game, except that's not a red card. It might be a yellow card. That's not a red card. I agree it is a penalty. I said that because the arm moving forward. Red card, no, because like the arm moving forward was control, not deflecting, not preventing it from going in. VAR on the handball. I already went off on Anthony Taylor. I gave you the stats last week. And I also agree. If Salah doesn't convert, that's a dub for Chelsea. We packed it in really, really tight, which was good to see, right? I mean, if we go down to 10 and Liverpool, one of the best attacking teams, can't score on us, that's a win for us. A draw is a win for us in that game because of that.
I mean, it was at Anfield, right? So
yes,
like a point away, down a man at Anfield is a very good result in the totality of the season.
And I can't wait for Juve to be knocked right out. Juve. Who they? Who they? That's really what it is. Who they? It's really who they. Because it's not going to be pretty. Chelsea's winning that game. Easy.
Interesting, because there's going to be 2 games.
Okay. I mean, both of those games.
My team's not even in the Champions League, and I know how the format works. It's impressive.
But he's talking about the first game that's coming up this month.
Yeah, I think
in the second round.
I think we looked at this, and it's match day 2 and 5 that Chelsea and Juve are playing.
Right.
So should be spicy.
Very spicy.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the transfer window. So I did have an interesting stat. I wanted to. Hold on. I'm gonna find it real quick because I lost my stats, but I'm going to try and bring it back up really quickly about transfer and transfer spendings and things like that. Hold on a second. Come on.
While you're looking at that, I can run down them. So the really, really big ones we've got is Grealish over to City. We've got Lukaku to Chelsea. Cristiano Ronaldo coming home. I don't know why I hit a Baltimore accent there with that. Cristiano Ronaldo. And Sancho to United as well.
I think we also should add in Varane too.
Yeah, Varane. We could just kind of talk about the United as a whole.
I think if you add Varane to United, then you kind of have to talk about Ben White to Arsenal and things like that. And I don't know if those necessarily have the gravity that Lukaku to Chelsea or Grealish to City have, in my opinion.
I think the statement on Ben White and Varane for their transfers, who got the better deal there for the same price?
It wasn't the same price. Arsenal paid way more upfront for Ben White, but Arsenal got the better deal.
Oh, okay.
I will tell you why. So yes, Arsenal paid way more upfront for Ben White, but Varane's earning $300,000 a week at United. By the time his deal is done with United will have invested over $100 million into him, and he'll be 32. And by the time Ben White's deal is over, they will have invested roughly $62 million into Ben White, and he'll be 27.
Ready to invest the other $100 million.
I think you got it a little wrong. Let me make sure I heard you right. You say that Varane is not important as Grealish to City and Lukaku to Chelsea?
Well, I'm saying I don't know if he necessarily holds the same gravity. I mean, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe Varane does. Maybe he does. I don't know.
Just hear me. I just think
sure.
Varane as a paired with Maguire is going to be more important to United's success this year than Grealish will be for City or Lukaku to Chelsea.
I 100% agree with you on the Grealish aspect.
Yeah.
I think Lukaku to Chelsea is
bigger.
Massive. Is massive. I think that's
I just don't agree.
I think that's the biggest transfer. I think that's the biggest transfer of the offseason.
It's pretty much the same team
with a goal scorer.
And they won the Champions League. Yeah,
with a guy that will get you 25 to 30 goals.
I don't see that as ticker tape parade. I just see it as a Champions League winner putting a cherry on top.
Brad, I'm going to defend you real quick here, Brad. What was Chelsea's biggest deficiency last year?
Finishing.
Goals. Yeah. Jorginho was our leading goal scorer.
Yeah.
You just answered the question.
But even
hold on. Wait.
Stop. They still won.
That's the point. That's the point that I'm going to make is with their biggest deficiency being goal scoring, they still won the Champions League. And what does that mean for this season coming up? We're going to talk about this and who we think the biggest winner and the biggest losers are. So I don't necessarily want to I don't want to argue. I don't want to argue my case right now. But you're telling me that you think I agree with you. Grealish to me was a we have the money. It's a splashy buy kind of thing.
That's another shout out to Tamzy. He just doesn't fit. Really.
I don't think that he's going to do much. He's not going to do much for City, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. No. Maybe I'll be wrong. But I don't think he's going to do much. In the same way, I don't think Ronaldo's going to do much for United.
No, he's not. I don't think so either. I think Grealish was a luxury purchase, just like you said. But I'll go once. I think Odegaard was a luxury purchase for Arsenal too. It's like I put them both in that same category. I think Odegaard fits better into the Arsenal team, but I don't. But that wasn't one of your biggest needs because you have Emil Smith Rowe, you have Pepe, you have Saka, you have the talent there.
Yeah, you have young talent in midfield.
That I think. I mean, Odegaard is young too, but I don't see the point in that. I would have rather you guys spent that money on defense, and I think you might agree with that part.
I mean, we bought a center half in Ben White. We bought a right back in Takahiro. So like, and we bought a left back in Tavares. So like, I don't we bought a central midfielder in Sambi. So like, I don't disagree with you that Odegaard might have been like the lowest priority of all of the transfers Arsenal needed to accomplish this summer. I think a central attacking midfielder was the lowest priority. But we essentially got everything else that we needed. No, and I'll talk about Arsenal in a minute. Because there is some business that I didn't like that Arsenal haven't done, things like that. But I don't think that I don't think that he is a luxury purchase in my opinion. I think that Smith Rowe and Odegaard will play well together on the pitch, well together. And I think we saw it last year that they played well together. Okay, this is the stat I wanted to bring up when I was going to bring this up. So, there were 249 departures in the Premier League, or maybe this is the transfer market on a whole. I'm pulling this up from transfermarket.uk. And so this is there were 249 departures, generating 700 million in revenue, with arrivals, 250 arrivals to teams, and the expenditures was 1.4 billion. So the total net spent of this transfer market was 778 million net spent on players.
Is this dollars or pounds?
It's dollars.
Dollars. Okay, so American dollars. Okay.
American dollars. I wish I had it pulled up in pounds, but I had this queued up yesterday. The average income per player was about 2.8 million. The average cost per player was about 6 million. So that's an interesting statistic. But who do you guys think? And I'm going to start with you, Brad. Who do you think is the biggest winner from the transfer window? From the summer transfer window, who do you think the biggest winner is?
Chelsea.
Why?
Because we filled the one need we accomplished the one need that we had, and then we filled in a secondary need. In midfield with Sal coming in on loan, just like we did with Kovacic. It's a loan with option to buy.
Okay.
So we handled what we needed to handle. We offloaded a lot. I would have rather see us sell more than loan, but we still got them out.
I mean, that was the nature of the market. A lot of players that needed to get out were either, it was a lot of loans.
Yep.
Sean, who do you think was the biggest winner of the transfer market?
I don't often homerism when I do this. I just think, I would say Tottenham. Like, let's be honest, it's not. But I wanted to make the case to be built around that we're starting the overturn to be younger. Because we got out Toby, we got Foyth is like 24, we got out Lamela, Ari is gone, Sissoko's gone, and we brought in Romero, who's I think he's mid 20s.
Low 20s, I think.
That's right where he should be to pick up a center back. Gill's like 19, Emerson Royal's right around 20, Golini is low 20s, early 20s. We're starting the roster flip to get younger players in, which is good for the team. Also, Lamelo's gone. I'm just kidding.
Yo, ticker.
I don't want to crap. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to crap. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, you haven't said the number one thing that Tottenham did. Like, the main argument to say that Tottenham are the biggest winners is because they kept Kane. That's your argument. You don't need to say about Gill.
Kane is big. I thought you were going to go with
Romero.
Signed a manager. I thought you were going to go with that joke.
I wasn't going to meme there.
I thought about making that joke.
realistically, it's probably United. You get the home. They won the marketing battle, and paired a very experienced Champions League winning center back and World Cup winning center back with Harry Maguire. And then you win the marketing battle because Cristiano Ronaldo back to United at 36, 37 is strictly for marketing. Let's be honest. He's still got a little left. He's still got a little left in the tank. He's going to contribute to the team. They wouldn't do it just to sell things, but like jersey sales, merchandise, butts and seats.
You're going to take my take here, Brad. I
think mentality. Is that what you're going to say?
No.
I think. And
then Sancho being the hometown hero, that's marketing.
It took over a year to do. No, that doesn't count. That took over. That's not marketing.
I'm just saying. Now that they have Sancho, he's the young bright star in England. Everybody wanted him. That's a big win for them because they had been missing out on that for a long time. There's a lot of people that they went for and missed out, and they missed out to City, and they missed out to Chelsea on a lot of these big names, and getting Sancho was a big thing for them. So that's why I would say United. The big winner is United for me personally because of the off the field, off the game pitch wins. The marketing, hometown hero, and a mentor for Maguire.
A mentor for Maguire? Isn't he almost 30? Like I think they're.
I don't think so. I think he's like 26. He's clearly he needs one because he plays like a refrigerator.
Well, yeah, that's the joke. He's 28 years old. I'm pretty sure they're the same age.
Somebody's got to teach him how to play center back because clearly he hasn't learned.
They're both 28 years old. Actually, Maguire is older by a month.
Varane is a better player.
Oh yeah,
mentally.
You're not wrong. You're 100% not wrong.
Mentally,
he needs a mentor.
He needs a mind mentor.
So I agree with both of you in part, with a bit of a take. Well, I disagree with you, Sean, that I United did not win the transfer window in my opinion. I think they got saddled with Ronaldo, and I honestly
I took it a little different way than on the field. I think you guys meant on the field.
Yeah, that's what I'm taking it.
Yes.
I honestly think that Ronaldo is going to be an anchor for them. I don't think he's going to help them. But I also think that he just won't play that much. So he won't play that much, and he's not going to help them that much. I think he's going to be an albatross. What?
I feel like I disagree there because you can't pay somebody $500,000 a week to sit on your bench.
I guess let's let him finish. I disagree. He's going to play. Yeah.
I mean, he might. I think that he's going to be like one of the first. Like if he starts, he's going to be one of the first. Anyway, I think Chelsea won the transfer market. I mean, I think if you look at it from a purely numbers perspective, they were net positive, I think, or they were like net negative
close.
by like
they were close.
8 million or something.
45 million. No, 45 million positive. American dollars.
It's something we did this last week or the week before. It was something that's not on the transfer market front page. It was like a loanee or something that wasn't showing up.
The U23s weren't showing up. So
the U23s. That's what it was.
Yeah.
We went through this a couple weeks ago.
Anyway, they're net positive, and they spent $115 million on Lukaku, or 98 million pounds, or whatever it was. They spent $100 million on Lukaku, and they were net positive. In my opinion, their biggest deficiency coming into the window was goals, and they needed to find somebody who could score goals because they spent $60 million on Werner, and Werner can't score goals. So I think Chelsea are the winners. Are the immediate winners of the transfer window. Now, I will make an argument that Tottenham and Arsenal did better business because for the future.
I'll let you finish.
Because they invested heavily in young players. Arsenal more so than Tottenham, in my opinion. I think Arsenal did a better job than Tottenham, but I think that both Arsenal and Tottenham have done an exceptional job of purchasing players that will set them up for future success if they develop in the manner in which they're expected to. I think Chelsea are going to have the most immediate boon from the transfer market. I can definitely see Lukaku catapulting Chelsea to winning the league. I don't think that that's a stretch. And so I don't think I don't think Chelsea. I don't think City got better with Grealish. I think you could make an argument that they got worse. Just because of the way that their squad is going to flow and function, and Grealish is going to need to be playing if he's £100 million signing. I don't know if that's going to work out. United, I think, were decent beforehand, but I just think that Ronaldo was a bad signing. I think they got duped really hard by Ronaldo's agent with this whole Ronaldo's going to City thing. I think United panicked and we're like, we can't let Cristiano Ronaldo go to City when we have the money. I think the Glazers were like, yo, the fans already hate us. If we let Ronaldo go to City, they're going to take over Old Trafford again. And this time they're not going to give it back. So I think that they freaked and they panicked buy. And they didn't spend much on Ronaldo. It was like they're going to spend like 13 million pounds and like 8 million or something like that in add-ons. So like it's inexpensive. Well, no, I mean it's not a lot of money, but it's expensive for a 36-year-old, in my opinion, who I don't think is going to produce much for United. So I think that Chelsea had the most immediate gain. But with the purchases, the business that Arsenal did, the business that Tottenham did, I thought was really solid. And so I think that's going to pay dividends down the road.
So to speak to that, right? Because I'm not going to say that you're wrong, because that's probably a very succinct analysis of everything. But it also states to where are our three teams?
Oh, absolutely.
My team is competing for the Champions League champion trophy. My team is competing for the Premier League trophy. You guys are trying to fight back into Europe. Tottenham might make Champions League, but they're probably a Europa League squad this year. So, like, of course, they're buying for the future, because I don't see immediate trophies or immediate honors coming to your club. So, like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying you're probably correct, and that's probably the idea. That's why you're buying 23 and under players, and we're buying 28 and 26-year-old players.
I mean, the thing is, like, Lukaku was available, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure if Arsenal wanted to scratch up £100 million to buy Lukaku, they could have. But the problem is, Lukaku's not coming to Arsenal.
He's only coming to Chelsea.
Even if you throw out if you get rid of all of like the boyhood, like idolized Didier Drogba stuff, if you get rid of all of that, like all of the emotional stuff, and you just look purely at like what inter-circumstances were, and then you compare Arsenal and Chelsea. Chelsea are clearly the more desirable landing. Like
100%.
You could make an argument like that if he had signed for like Newcastle or something like that. And I'm using Newcastle strictly for a geographical place, because like Newcastle is like the pit of hell. You don't actually want to go to Newcastle because it's like just like a terrible place. It's always raining. It's always cold. Like it's not a good place. You only like Newcastle if you're from Newcastle. But so Lukaku didn't like choose like a horrible place to live for like footballing, but like the football is great. He chose London versus London. Like he chose a good place to live in London, and one of the best teams in the world right now. So like Arsenal can't compete. Tottenham can't compete with signing someone like Lukaku. That wasn't their goal. So your point was very well taken, in the sense that like the targets are just different. They're just inherently different from where your club is compared to ours.
I give an honorable mention to winners.
Sure, you can do whatever you want, Sean.
This is our pod.
Honorable mention, sneaky, Leicester City.
Okay, let's have it.
They brought in the darling of the Euros, Patson Daka, who had a great Euro. They brought in Vestergaard to basically replace Wes Morgan, who retired. Not that he played a lot, but that's and Fuchs left as well. Ryan Bertrand they brought in just to fill the spot.
Champions League winner Ryan Bertrand. Make sure you say that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And didn't spend a lot. All in total, that's 55 plus 20. So they spent 75 million. Got a free transfer on Ryan Bertrand. That's pretty good biz. That's an honorable mention, Brendan.
I think Leicester's business was really good for what their squad is like and what their club is about. I think they did really good business. Yeah.
Actually, yeah. I have one. I have one
for good business or bad
for
business?
good business.
Okay.
For good business.
Right,
Aston Villa. Aston Villa murdered it, and that's before they sold Grealish. Like oh my gosh!
But I think that they knew that they were losing Grealish.
Hold on, I might have to put my foot in my mouth. I don't think Doc has played in the Euros. I think I might be thinking somebody else.
I don't think Doc played for Sweden. You're right.
Did I get that right?
Brad, you talk. Let Sean dig his own grave and dig out of his grave.
I just got to make sure. I got to make sure here.
You brought up Villa. You brought up Villa. Yeah. Talk to me about Villa, Brad.
They brought in goals.
Serbian national team. All right, I'm an idiot.
Oh, you messed it all up, didn't you?
Yeah.
They brought in goals with Ings, for not that expensive. That was out of nowhere. I don't even think Sean knew that happened. Am I right? Let me get the rest of their people, because then they brought in
Leon Bailey, left winger, yep. And then Emiliano Buendia.
Yep.
Right winger.
Buendia's a good signing. Yeah.
They got Ashley Young on a free, and they have I'm gonna butcher this name.
Tuanzebe.
Tuanzebe. Yeah.
I don't know.
He was a center back. He was a center back from United.
None of us know, but
yeah, Tuanzebe. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you that Villa did good business. Like they're net positive with the Grealish transfer and everything like that. And the reason why I think I made the point about Grealish is when the Grealish transfer went through, the CEO of Villa came out and gave like a 5 or 6 minute interview, and he was talking about how they were never going to replace Jack Grealish with one player, and that their goal was always to replace Jack Grealish with 3 players. And so in Buendia, Bailey, and Ings, they have 3 players that they signed, and they signed 2 of those players, I think, before the Grealish transfer actually took place. So I think that the Grealish transfer was like on a slow simmer that was always going to happen. And so Villa were aware of it.
Yeah. I think when they put the 100 mil release clause in there, they're like, this will never get paid, or he might not ever reach that in this contract, so we can get rid of that for the next contract.
Yeah.
And then he started developing very crazily, and City has money.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We're going to do something a little bit different for the worst transfer business. So I'm going to count down to 3. Or count down from 3. And on 0, I want you guys to tell me who you think was the worst. So, all right. 3, 2, 1, 0. Liverpool.
Arsenal. Ooh, I like your Liverpool one, but I was going to go with Arsenal.
Sean, you didn't play.
I said Villa.
Oh, did you say Villa? We didn't hear you. Maybe that was a terrible idea to try and convince everybody to talk at the same time for a podcast.
It definitely was.
That was probably a really bad idea. I'm new to this. I don't know what I'm doing. So, okay, Brad, you think Arsenal did the worst business in all of the Premier League?
Out of us 3 groups, yeah. I don't. No. Besides Ben White, what did you get for this year?
What did we get?
Besides Ben White, what did you get for this year?
What did we get?
I told you. I think Odegaard is extra. Like I don't think Odegaard. I think Odegaard is a luxury. I'm not saying he's a bad player or anything. I think he's a luxury to the Arsenal team. Besides Ben White, what did you do? And you overpaid for Ben White.
All right, we might have overpaid for Ben White. I didn't want a center back. I still don't necessarily want a center back because I don't understand why we loaned out Saliba again.
And you spent $100 million for the future.
So
I'm doing air quotes for everybody listening to the podcast. Like I'm not against investing in the future because like
Chelsea fans are not allowed to talk about spending money for the future. If we want to look at net spend over like the last 25 years, Chelsea.
Go ahead.
We're not
that bad.
There was a Swiss.
There's a few years.
There was a Swiss Ramble post that was up on Twitter that I meant to pull up about spending. Anyway.
Yeah, but we don't buy for the future. We buy it for now.
Okay, and maybe that's worse. If you spend, how much did you guys spend on what's his name, who sits your bench, who fell behind Peter Cech in the depth chart, Kepa? Would you guys spend like 80 million on Kepa or something like that?
72, but he's no longer a record transfer signing, so it's good.
Okay, so what did Arsenal get? Arsenal got a backup goalkeeper for when Leno leaves. They got a proven, established Premier League goalkeeper in Ramsdale.
For way too much.
We paid like 20 mil for him.
Yeah, I thought that was
the head scratcher for that. I think we paid 24 mil for him. The head scratcher, Brad, our transfer market has 25.2. Anyway,
okay.
The reason why the reason why it's a head scratcher is because a year ago we sold Martinez for $20 million, and then the next season we're going around and flipping, like we're paying more for another one who's not an Arsenal Academy person. So like I agree with you, like that's stupid. But Martinez didn't want to sit another season behind Leno, and I don't blame him because look at Martinez. He went and he won the Copa America. He was huge for Argentina, so like he clearly deserves to play.
I think the misplay there was sell Leno.
Yeah,
that was the misplay.
At this point, that's kind of what it seems, especially.
And then you're probably just like positive. What are you getting from him? 10, 15, maybe 20 at best.
For Leno?
Leno? I mean, he's probably just going to play down his contract.
He hasn't been playing very well recently.
No, he has been. I disagree with that. But but here's what he's going to be. He's going to be a typical Arsenal transfer.
He let in a short.
A near. You're talking about the near post.
A near post to a
Bradford.
championship team.
Okay, yeah. So like everybody has howlers, but did you see his save against Lukaku?
Was it a howler?
Oh my gosh!
His save against Lukaku was world class. He's a very good goalkeeper. If he doesn't get 35 or 40 million on a transfer, I would be very, very mad.
I said the same about Pickford when it was before he went to.
Pickford's a different goalie type.
Are you
just hold on now? Will you let me?
No, I will not.
The same I said about Pickford before he went to Everton, and they paid a lot of money for him. Was the only reason he looks good is because he's getting shot at 30,000 times a game because the defense sucks. The only reason Leno looks good is because he's getting a lot of chances to save balls.
I will not accept Pickford and Leno comparisons. I will not accept this.
Yeah, well, I can see the hatred and it's justified here.
I did confuse. I found who I was confusing that signing for. It was Daku on the Belgian team.
Brad, we also got a central midfielder in Sambi who's played every match so far this season as a partner to Xhaka, and he'll probably partner Partey when he comes back, and like that's a midfielder for the now. Tavares is the backup for Kieran Tierney, who we desperately needed because Kieran Tierney is injury prone, and we haven't seen him play yet. But Takahiro is right back cover for the fact that we don't have any right backs. It's like the biggest issue with Arsenal is we didn't offload enough. Well,
you guys never do. Like that's what I'm saying. Like Leno's going to run down his contract.
Yep.
I think Willock is probably your biggest.
Lacazette's going to run down his contract.
Yeah, Willock's probably your biggest transfer or transfer out in the past 3 seasons, and like that's terrible.
Maybe I don't know.
When was the last time you sold somebody for a profit?
I'd have to look. I don't remember.
Right.
But yes, like our outgoing is horrible. So like think about this. So Lucas Torreira, who has been floating around on loans, like that's a player that shouldn't be floating around on loans. He just like didn't work out, and like we're going to lose a lot of money on Torreira. Willian was actually was amazing to Arsenal in that he wrote off 20 million pounds. Oh, yeah. Like he could have like held Arsenal's feet to the fire there, and he didn't. So mad props to Willian. Even though it didn't work out for Arsenal, like mad props for him. Like just I think it's stupid. I think he should have held Arsenal's feet to the fire and gotten his money like Ozil did, because Arsenal were stupid enough to offer him the contract. But big ups to Willian. Bellerin is a loan transfer. We're probably not going to make any sum or any like a lot of money on Bellerin when last year PSG gave us a 25 million offer for Bellerin, which we could have cashed in last year, and we would have been in the same position last year as we were in this year. Reece Nelson, who is an academy.
Are you arguing for Brad's point?
No, I'm saying
yes, he is.
My argument is that we should have done better with getting rid of players. We shouldn't have loaned Saliba. We should have kept Saliba, and he would be starting. But like Guendouzi, we're gonna loan him out to Marseille, and I think the obligation is like 11 million. He's worth way more than 11 million. He's worth way more than that.
Right. So again, I think you're making my point here.
Yeah. Again, that's a point for Brad.
But okay, so I guess you're looking at it holistically. But you're trying to tell me that Arsenal had a worse transfer window than Liverpool Football Club.
That was going to be my point. I'm sorry. I was going to say that when you said Liverpool. I said, "Ooh." I could have changed my
I
answer.
trolled with Villa, but the answer is clearly Liverpool, right?
It has to be.
Hands down Liverpool. Everyone agrees it's Liverpool.
Out of us three, I say yours was the worst.
That's crazy.
They have so many injuries. Not a lot of people. That I saw one of their depth charts that has Ox and Milner in like 3 backup positions because they don't have anybody.
I think Milner's in like 8 of those positions.
Yeah, and then they have like we won't get into it, but one of their players is in a difficult situation, and then just so many injuries, and then Elliott got hurt and on the international break, and they're just I don't know what they're going to do.
Well, there's also some debate that maybe some of the Brazilian players that weren't allowed to leave from the Premier League to go to international duty might be suspended.
You mean the Argentine?
No,
as well.
Well, the Argentinians will be quarantined. But
right, but I think they'll also be fined because they weren't supposed to go either.
I was reading on Cartilage Free captain, which is one of Tottenham's big sites.
Yeah.
They're hearing Lo Celso and Romero will be either fined, suspended, or a combination of both by Tottenham when they get back.
Yo, if I'm Lo Celso or Romero and Daniel Levy tries to fine or suspend me, I'm calling FIFA and saying I was called up by my national team, I reported for duty, and now my club is fining me. And B, I would be handing in a transfer request.
That's just what the report.
The moment they do that, I would look at Levy and say, you need to sell me because this is bullshit. You're telling me that they can't go represent their national team? I don't care about COVID. I don't care about any of that. Like,
I tried to find the full story and just couldn't. What I don't know exactly what they got detained for. It said something about not revealing they were.
I know this
in England.
I can set this up for you. So, well, there's 2 things that we're talking about, 2 separate things. But what you're talking about is during the Brazil-Argentina match, 5 minutes into the match, the Brazilian health officials came onto the pitch, stopped the match, and essentially detained 4 Argentinian players. The 4 Argentinian players who play in England. The reason why is because allegedly, those 4 players didn't list the fact that they were coming from England on their immigration forms, on their entrance forms.
Seems like an oversight.
It's kind of questionable how they wouldn't know that Brazil wouldn't know that they were coming from England, but also Brazil, the denial from Brazilian health officials to the Argentinian Football Federation didn't come through to the Argentinian Football Federation until 50 minutes before the match was scheduled to start. And so I think that Argentina was just like, F it, we're going to roll the dice and see what happened. But it's such a cluster of a situation anyway. The fact that Brazil didn't know, the Brazilian health officials didn't know, I think is BS.
Yeah, and I think Messi told them. Messi came out and was like, "We've been here for 3 days. Y'all couldn't figure this out before now."
Exactly.
What?
And so, but my point. So, 2 weeks ago, the Premier League clubs voted to not release players to countries that are red or whatever, and that's all of South America or whatever, right? So, a lot of the high-profile Brazilian players didn't. Alisson didn't go. Firmino didn't go. There's a long list. There's 9 Brazilian players who were called up that didn't go to play. But a couple of these Argentinian players did go, and so especially from Villa and Tottenham. And so
they had two.
Yeah. So the idea was that they were going to go, they were going to play, and then they were going to come back to Malta or something like that, quarantine for 10 days, train all together, and then go back to England. They were going to miss at least 1 match, I think, for club, maybe 2, probably just 1. Anyway, but the Premier League clubs were like, well, we voted for these players not to go. Or we voted not to release these players, and they went anyway. So that's where Tottenham's coming in with this, I'm going to fine Lo Celso, I'm going to fine Romero. Which I think is absolutely absurd, and I think that they would lose a court case if they were sued. And honestly, if I would hand in a transfer request that moment, and I would make it public that I'd say, especially Romero just got there. I've got no allegiance to this club. What are you talking about? You're going to come at me with a fine because I went to go support? He's on a loan.
Technically, it's a loan.
I'd be like, send
me back. It's an obligation to buy, but it's a loan.
I'd call up Atalanta. I'd say, cancel this loan. I'd call up Tottenham. I'd say, Levy, I'm not playing. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'd say, I'm not playing. Screw your team. I'm going back to Atlanta.
We will see.
That's what I would do.
Levy got a new job this week too.
Did he?
He's now on the board for the European Club Association.
Oh, did he get back on?
He was never. No, he took the place of Woodward.
Oh, Ed Woodward.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you. And apparently, the other person in the running was from somebody from Manchester City. I don't know how you let that vote happen between those. Like, I get they're big clubs, but like, they just tried to leave.
But that was part of the agreement when they pulled out of the Super League, was that they would be able to come back to the European Football Commission or whatever.
Right, but I don't think you put them in a leadership spot the next same season.
Arsenal CEO.
That's just me personally.
Arsenal CEO Vinay got back onto his role on the board, so it's unsurprising.
Right, he was on the board.
Beforehand.
This was an election. This was an election to the board.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yes, he was elected to the board.
So, yeah. I think that's
elect to sell the team is what I wish he would do.
I think that's all. I think that's all we got for transfers. Unless any of you guys have any more points you want to bring up, we went a little bit longer there than I thought.
We hammered that one pretty well.
So we're gonna talk about the Premier League, and like Brad likes to meme about, we are gonna. Oh, is this what? Where am I going? Table view. There we go. I figured it out. I know how to use this system. I'm gonna quickly run down the table for you. If you're watching the video, you understand why I was exasperated a second ago. If you're on the podcast, you're like, why is this guy rambling? Anyway, so Tottenham's still at the top with 9 points. Arsenal still at the bottom with 0 points. West Ham is on 7 points. United, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Everton are all on 7 points. City, Brighton and Hove, Leicester City are all on 6 points. Brentford is on 5 points. Villa is on 4 points. Watford's on 3 points. Southampton, Palace, Leeds all on 2 points. Burnley and Newcastle all have 1 point, and then Wolves, Norwich City, Arsenal are the 3 teams that are in the relegation zone with 0 points. That's the way the table looks after 3 match days, and that was the most succinct rundown of the Premier League table. But yeah, so matches coming up for match week 4. Starting off the weekend is the worst match possible for Tottenham Hotspurs. They're away to Palace. Feels bad. Just chalk a draw in there right now. But okay, so Palace are hosting Spurs. Arsenal hosting Norwich. This is a relegation 6-pointer. Big battle. Yes, it is. Battle for
match 3 points. Relegation 6-pointer.
Yeah, battle for last place. Here we go.
I guess technically, Brad, get ready. It's not technically a 6-pointer if neither one of you have points.
But you don't understand what the 6-pointer means, though.
It means you're taking 3 points away, but there's no
I just had to make. I know what it means. I had to make the joke.
Brentford are hosting Brighton. Leicester are hosting City. So Leicester City are hosting Manchester City. That should be a good game. Manchester United are hosting Newcastle. This should be Ronaldo's debut back with Manchester United.
In front
of the home crowd. Southampton, excuse my cat for a moment. He's just yelling. Southampton are hosting West Ham United. That should probably be another good game. The battle of the W's. Watford is hosting Wolves. Chelsea is hosting Villa. A depleted Villa because they're missing all their Argentinian players. Leeds are hosting Liverpool on Sunday. And then for some reason, we get the lovely benefit of a Monday night game. And Everton are hosting Burnley. Actually, the reason why we get a Monday night game is because the Champions League is back and Europa League is back next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. A week from now. But
who's in the Champions League?
Oh my goodness, Brad.
Yeah, we know who's in it.
We know who's in it, Brad.
Okay.
The first 2, I just think that's easy. That's results both of our teams need. That's for us. That's an away game against a 9th to 15th perennial thorn in the side.
Yeah.
That is a game if you are going to finish in the top 2, 3, 4. That's a game when you whatever. If you want to finish in that Champions League position and you are on top of the table, that's a game you don't lose.
Yeah.
So that's like a barometer one. Same for you. Like if you want to turn your season around, home to Norwich is when to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like you can't. Arsenal can't afford to lose to Norwich. Arsenal can't afford to draw to Norwich. Arsenal must beat Norwich. If Arsenal do not beat Norwich,
it's like five alarm sirens going off.
Yeah.
If Arsenal can't beat Norwich, can you guys convince Conte to come in?
No. This has been my point the whole time. Conte is not coming to Arsenal.
I think he does. There's rumors already sprinkling around that there's been contacts made.
Yeah, but Fabrizio said that there has been no pre-contact agreement between those two parties.
I don't think there's an agreement yet, but I think there's a feeling each other out.
I could totally see Conte's manager calling up Edu and being like, hey, if you guys fire Arteta, would you guys be interested in Conte? This is what he would want. And Edu would be like, well, we're not firing Arteta. But if for some reason Arteta left the club, yeah, I would be interested in hiring Conte. Like, I could see that happening. But I don't believe it's beyond that point.
Hypothetical, yeah. Other than that, it's a pretty blah.
I don't know. Leicester
City.
Leicester City is a good game.
That's about it.
Leeds Liverpool was a barn burner last year, so that should be a good game. I think the Chelsea Villa game was shaping up to be a better game before the
international break.
Before the international break, yeah. So that was, I think, going to be a better game, but it's not going to be.
We're also missing Lukaku, though. Lukaku might be out. He has a thigh injury that is being scanned.
Okay, we'll see.
So it might be Werner starting up top.
That's actually disastrous for you. So
it might be.
I think this Manchester City game is going to be very good. It's Leicester's hosting City, and
that's another one with losing to Tottenham match day 1. That's one City probably need those 3.
Yeah, and especially
they need to win that.
Well, that was kind of going to be I was going to make the inverse point about the Palace Spurs game, is that Spurs probably, like if you think about the beginning of the season, they probably weren't chalking 3 points in against City, and so they have. I think Tottenham have some wiggle room to screw up, but you don't. When you looked at the Palace game at the beginning of the season, you're like, that's a game we intended to win. So.
Yeah. But I just think it's like more of a keep the train rolling against teams you should be beating type game.
Whereas with City, it's like we have to get this result because we were expected to be higher than we are right now.
Yeah, we lost a game we didn't think we would. We have to get 3 back because there's going to be games we're not getting the result on. I
agreed with you there. But I think that's going to be a really good game. I think Southampton and West Ham could be an interesting game, but West Ham is slapping right now, so it's entirely possible that West Ham just take the stuffing out of Southampton and call it a day.
The old English, Ingsless Southampton.
Ings and Vestergaard-less Southampton.
Ingsless. Yeah.
Who had West Ham joint top scores in the league after 3 weeks? I don't think anybody did.
I didn't have that on my bingo card. No, I did not.
Like seeing City at 10 goals, you're like, okay, that makes sense. City probably slapped the other 2 teams after the Tottenham embarrassment. But yeah, West Ham up at 10 goals. Nobody saw that coming.
I also, not on the bingo card, was Tottenham top of the table week 3 and Arsenal bottom of the table week 3. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Those were not on my bingo card. I'm going to be honest with you.
I think this Leeds Liverpool match could be really interesting
we'll see
on Sunday.
It's just that's always like just their styles of gameplay. It just lends itself to really fun viewing experience.
And also but like take it another step forward. If Liverpool are depleted from the international break, and like that, that could be a very winnable game for Leeds. Everton Burnley should not be much of a contest in my opinion.
I just like one more just oversight that I want to.
Sure.
I want to just tie a bow on. We need more Brentfords and Leeds coming up that are just go forward. It's just fun, and they end up hanging around a lot more than whoever that comes up and packs it in and hopes for the best, and they hope for draws and hopes to stay up. They're just gonna, teams like that where they just come up and they're like, well, if we get 20 draws, we might, and a win here or there, we might stay up.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably better to like lose a couple games 5-3 or something like that, and win more games because you're more willing to go attack.
Yeah. Catch an 8th, 9th, 10th place team napping that you probably shouldn't beat anyway.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Well, and I think we've had that conversation too.
It's just fun. Yeah, Leeds was fun last year. Brentford is going to be fun this year. They have a similar style, not quite like Leeds, but they're just kind of more attacking, ready to go forward, figure it out when we get there.
Yeah, I think we've hammered that in. Like, if you're coming up and you're coming up for attacking, like if you're going to play your style of ball instead of just trying to pack it in and stay in the league, you're going to stay in the league. Like
hopefully,
you have to go for it.
I think you probably.
It seems like go for it, get it.
You probably have to have like goal scorers, like who can actually compete at that level.
I don't know. Leeds didn't. They figured it out.
Well, Bamford just had so many chances.
Bamford's clearly at the level of a Premier League player. Rafinha's clearly a Premier League player.
Rafinha is.
Rafinha, I'll take that back on Rafinha, but Bamford missed a lot. But I guess to Brad's point, when you get that many chances and you're gonna miss, you're gonna miss a certain.
No, you guys understand.
Yeah, but he missed more than he should have.
Timeout.
As we're making this point, I'm pretty sure Bamford was like 5th in goals last year.
Right, but he should have been first. Like as many chances he had.
You guys need to stop talking for a second because you have to remember that the Premier League exists outside of the top 6. So even though Bamford is not like a top 6 caliber player, you're telling me Bamford playing for Wolves last year? He's not Wolves' level last year. He's not West Ham's level last year.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying that.
Brad is.
I did.
Brad
I said he's a championship level striker.
That's absurd.
He's a Norwich striker with a lot of chances.
Then Timo Werner is a League 2 striker. Get out of here with that garbage, man.
Yeah, then let me de-align myself with Brad. That is not what I was saying. Bamford is a fine striker in the Premier League. He is just not. He is not the finisher that he should be. If he was.
Yes, finishing is terrible.
Like Brad, if you were saying
it's like hot takes over here.
They could have been top 6.
Chelsea boy.
If you were saying that Eddie Nketiah was not Premier League caliber, I would agree.
It wouldn't be a hot take.
Exactly.
It's not a hot take
because he's
hot
not.
Takes.
Okay, is Tammy Abraham a Premier League player?
Yeah.
Okay, so you take Tammy Abraham over Bamford.
Yes.
Yo, this is a homer take. This is a hardcore homer.
Why? They're both homers. They're both homers. What you mean?
Chelsea take. This is a hardcore Chelsea take.
Bamford is a Chelsea graduate, academy graduate.
Bro, just stop.
What, you're telling me you're taking Bamford over Tammy?
Not necessarily, but I'm saying that the production on paper, like what Bamford's done on the field in the Premier League.
Yeah,
if you gave Tammy that type of chances that Bamford had, he would have cleared 20 goals, 25 goals.
I'm pretty sure Tammy had those opportunities under Frank.
And he was doing great.
Then why is he playing for Rome?
Because Frank's no longer there. And Tammy was injured when Tuchel came in and never got his chances. But there's a buyback clause in there.
Tammy never got his chances?
He didn't. I don't think he started one game under Tuchel.
All right, guys. We'll be back next week. If you're still listening, and I probably would have turned it off when Brad started talking just now, just out of pure offendedness, being offended. If you're still listening, we really appreciate it. If you guys could, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, ring the notification bell if you're on YouTube. Drop us a comment. Tell us what game you're excited about this weekend, or tell us why Liverpool had a good transfer window or something like that. I don't know. Defend Arsenal. I like it when people defend Arsenal. That's cool.
Just don't let your phone ring while you're recording.
Yeah. We really appreciate it. Brad, that's at KSBradG on Twitter. Sean is at whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany on Twitter. Again, that's all Twitter. We collectively, holistically, are at redcard_radio, and we would love to interact with you. Maybe if you're watching a football match this weekend, send us a message, and we'll talk to you about it. But until next time, next week, we'll talk some more Premier League football, because we're back next week looking at match week 4. Good night. Well, I can't. I'm breaking the things, guys. Good night.